And welcome everyone to Intensity Broadcasting for coverage of the Superspeedway Kings series sponsored by Over the Top Designs. These are the best Superspeedway drivers running the best setups on iRacing. We're at Daytona International Speedway tonight. I'm Atlee Atman-Weiss, and I'm going to be calling this race tonight, but also joining me, we have someone who is very knowledgeable with the super speedways, Josh Hall. How are you doing tonight, Josh?
I'm doing well. Glad to be back. Been missing calling races with you, especially this league, so glad to be back and looking forward to this.
Right. So far throughout the season, I've loved calling these races just because how awesome the super speedway kings are. They really are the best super speedway racers on iRacing.
Yeah, and as I always mention, I've run with probably half the guys here in this field, and they really are some of the best super speedway racers on the service, and it's a blast to watch them run the way that they do.
And I've seen a lot of the drivers run in other leagues too that Intensity Broadcasting has also announced, and they dominate those races.
Yeah, anytime you get some of these guys up at the front, it's hard to get them away from the front. So I'm excited to be back. I'm excited to watch this race tonight and call this one.
Now, we do want to thank our race sponsor, Over the Top Designs. If you are in need of a top-notch custom paint scheme, check out Over the Top Designs on Facebook. And last Tuesday, I checked out their Facebook page, and they have made some pretty awesome paint schemes. just some of the designs that they've shared. So if you're looking for a top-notch iRacing paint scheme to get you to stand out on the track, make sure to go and contact Over the Top Designs. And we also have an anonymous sponsor that is currently paying the winner of all of these Superspeedway Kings races 20 iRacing credits, and they're also going to be paying the champion of this league 100 iRacing credits. Do a lot of cool things with iRacing credits, so that's cool. But speaking of champions, take a look at the point standings after last race, in which Rick Seabrands ended up winning. And Rick Seabrands, is actually the points leader right now with 2 wins, 6 top 5s. Actually, stat line for him, in all 6 races that we've ran, he has finished in the top 10, in actually the top 5 in all of these races. So Rick Seabrands, he's been performing amazing throughout all of these races. He's always there in the end. But also up there, we got Gabe Butler second in points. He's always up in the front. Got Mark Mann in third, John Stathakos fourth in points, and Kevin Freeze in fifth. We'll see how this race shakes up the point standings.
Yeah, it's not surprising to see guys like Gabe Butler up there, and you know, the Groovers in the top 10, because those are some of the, you know, toughest competitors out here. And Rick's had a great season so far. So see how this continues here at Daytona, which is a little bit tighter of a track, a little bit more narrow. Can't really run 3 wide. You can, but it's tough to do, and just a different track than a Talladega would be. So it's fun to watch these guys out here on a track like this.
Right, and we have 5 seconds left now. We're done with practice. So the cool thing about the Superspeedway Kings is they actually practice racing the race, restart, starts, and then green flag pit stops, all that stuff they practice during practice, which is pretty much what practice is supposed to do, which is really cool. Just to quickly brush over the format and rules, unlimited tires, 2 fast repairs, which last race we had a lot of cautions, which was very surprising for the Superspeedway Kings. But with that being said, these fast repairs, you gotta use them wisely, and then 64% fuel, and as always, we're gonna be seeing some green flag pit stops, which can always be pretty exciting.
Daytona is a fun pit road to get onto. There's a little bit of a challenge getting on too, because as you're entering the pits, there's this big bump that can really upset the vehicle. And leaving the pits, the same thing. There's a big bump as you come off of just past the commitment line there, or the speeding line. And it can make it tough to get on and off a pit road here.
Right, I believe it was 2 or 3 races ago where we saw a ton of drivers having trouble getting onto pit road. I believe that was actually the last time that we were at Daytona, which was January 5th, where just so many drivers were having trouble getting onto pit road. So we'll see if the same thing goes tonight here at Daytona.
Yeah, it's there used to be an orange block on the track indicating kind of where the entrance of the pit lane was, and that was kind of what we used as a brake marker. And then when they repaved it back, I want to say it was about 5 years ago, they had the Rescanner 6. That's kind of gone, so it's a little bit different to get on pit road. You almost have to look at the inside wall, and you don't want to give up any speed going in the pits, because as we know, you can make up a lot of time getting in and off pit road.
Speaking of time, we're getting our first qualifying times on the board. We'll wait for it because so many people are getting on the board at one time. We'll wait to see who is the true fastest. And looks like both Groover brothers are second and third, but in first place, we have Tracy Weaver with a 46.17 currently is the fastest. Tim Hamilton in fourth, Jimmy Crow Jr., who is actually the league owner. He is fifth. But as I
Gabe
say that, Gabe Butler
jumps up to 5th. Yep, I was just about to say that.
expect him to be up front tonight. Other people need to get on the board. David Overstreet, Dude Conrad, Dean Wilkinson, Charles M. Johnson, Kevin Fries, all still need to get on the board.
Yeah, it's a 1-lap qualify, so it's a little trickier to put down a good lap, and you don't really have that throwaway lap that you would normally. So it really brings out the best of the best here.
Right, and it's also a great way to see, of course, who's the fastest, because the fastest is not necessarily going to be the one who wins, considering how there's going to be a bunch of other cars on the track. But looks like Kevin Fries is going to go to second on the board with a 46.20. That's going to tie him with Patrick Groover.
Yeah, just a very, very small separation there. Kevin with a 46.195, Patrick with a 46.198. So just those 3/1000ths separating those two.
Right, and we've every time look at a super speedway, all the qualifying times are so close. If you go to the first place and the last place on qualifying, it's going to be pretty close as we see weather popping up here. 65 degrees, 0% humidity, cloudy, 1 miles per hour. It's pretty much the lowest setting that everything can be. But weather can greatly alter super speedways, so it's glad that we see everything is pretty low, so the drivers won't have weather to worry about.
You know what a cold track means? That means grip, and cold air temperature means these guys are going to be able to push a little bit harder and put a little more tape on the grill, and the speeds will be up for sure.
All right, that's exciting. See the top speed in qualifying. Oh, but it looks like we're gridding. It was around 204 miles per hour. As we are now gridding, as Tracy Weaver is on the pole. Get the full grid shortly. There we go. Tracy Weaver with a 46.173 starting on the pole. Outside of him, we got Kevin Fries in second. Third is Patrick Groover, and his twin brother, Seth Groover, is starting outside of him.
Tim Hamilton in the 38 is going to be starting in 5th. Gabe Butler in the 6th spot. Jimmy Crow rolling off in 7th. And Frank Garmula is going to roll off row 4.
We got 9th place, Everett F. Lane. 10th place is Michael Pegg. We saw him lead 24 laps last race. Darren M. Razor starting in 11th. And outside of him, we got Larry Boyle in the 28.
In the 99, we got L.G. Waitley. And then Craig White on the outside of him in row 7. Alcina rolling off in 15th. And John Garrett in the 16th spot.
Noel Coers starting 17th. Jay Hilliard in that 20 machine is starting at 18th. Then we got Todd Siebels in 19th. And then rounding out your top 20 starting outside of Todd Siebels, that's Paul Sheldon.
Harold Decker in the 09 starting in 21st. Randy Miner in the 101 rounding out row 11. Dude Conrad in the 8 machine. He's going to be rolling off 23rd. And Eric Laurie in 24th.
We got Alliance Motorsports teammates starting right next to each other with 25th Mark Mann, Rick Seabrand's 26th points leader, James Mayer starting 27th, and Charles M. Johnson starting 28th.
29th is going to see David Overstreet in the 03 machine, and then Mark Billen rounding out row 15. Bobby Johnson in the 31st spot, and Don Thompson in the 32nd spot.
Then we got John Stathakos. He's won a race this season. Michael Lovelace in 34th. 37th. Oh, no. Skip some. 35th is Ernie Williams Jr. And then 36th is Brent Lee.
In the 37th spot, the 007 of David Adamson. And then Thomas Holder in the double O starting in 38th. Michael Howlett in 39. And Louis Loya rounding out row 20.
Then we got row 21, 41st, Brian Pierce, 42nd, Dean Wilkinson, and starting last, but most certainly not least, Donald Kendrick. Got the cars rolling now. We got a great field of cars, 43 to be exact. Remember, it was a sad day when NASCAR changed the number of cars from 43 to 40. Okay, gonna be racing here with Tracy Weaver on the pole. We do have a black bar on your screen that'll indicate exactly when the green flag drops. It'll turn red. Weird, because it's the green flag, but that's okay. There we go. It turns red. Green flag is out at Daytona International Speedway. We're side by side for first.
And both lines pretty even here. No real energy coming up from either side. A couple positions jostling around. It looks like Seth Groover moving down to the bottom. Trying to help out his brother there.
Yep, there we go. Yeah, you'll always see them start grouping together. Great side draft as they're trying to get in front of Tracy Weaver.
That's going to put the Groover twins right to the front.
Great move by them. As they hop out, Tracy Weaver goes to the high side. Getting a good push from Kevin Freeze as we'll see if the top line can make a good comeback.
You know, Atlee, with the weather being the way it is, as cool as it is, I really see that high line. I think that's going to be the stronger line. As you can see already, Tracy Weaver coming back with that big push there.
Right, Kevin Freeze doing a great job pushing that number 41, and I wouldn't be surprised by at the end of this back straightaway. I do not think it's going to be enough to take the lead, but still great run, Tracy Weaver. I think that's a little sneak peek at what's going to happen in the coming laps.
Check up from Gabe Butler there too. He saw his nose just kind of pop in the screen there. He had to lift hard not to get in the back of the pusher, especially through the corner there.
Right, a lot of people think of super speedways as full throttle, but here there's a lot of lifting. Of course, you don't want to run into the back, but also riding the brake can definitely help.
Yeah, I know a lot of guys don't like to ride the brake. They think it actually messes up the momentum a little bit more. I personally prefer using the brake to kind of, instead of lifting, even though these cars aren't really restricted anymore. As you can see, that big power move on the outside. But here comes the Groovers back on the bottom. With the cars not being restricted, you don't have that big delay getting back to the gas, but still you want to keep the engine wound up the best you can.
Right, you want to keep that momentum so you can continue to keep that car going fast. And so far, been the Groover brothers, but Tracy Weaver trying to get out in the lead. Kind of got the ticker up there. Who your favorite driver is. Make sure to tell us on Facebook who you're pulling for.
Yeah, and as I'm watching the rest of the field on my screen over here, I'm starting to see this top line really starting to form up a little bit and get a little bit of momentum going.
Right, we got cars up there as far as the eye can see. We'll get... There we go. That's a good view of that, but a long line of cars on the high side. The more the merrier.
Yeah, and we're also starting to see two distinct groups. You got the big pack, it's all side by side by side all the way back. But then a little ways back, we've got a little separation starting. I don't know if it's people just trying to play it safe or if people are just struggling a little bit and miss the setup a little bit, but we're starting to see a real distinct difference between the front group and then that second group.
Yeah, here's LG Whaley. He's got a pretty big gap between him. And then I believe that is the 777. No, that's the 85 of Alcina behind him. But there's a big gap between them.
And I was mentioning the two groups, now they've all formed back up to one. So because those the leaders are double file in that second pack, so it tended to be a little more single file, they're able to catch right back up, and we've got one big group yet again.
Right, and you'll continue to see it change as the race goes by. But a lot of times it's when we get a new leader, but so far Tracy Weaver has not been able to get by Patrick Groover, and that's mainly in part because of a great push from Seth Groover.
Yeah, he's doing a great job managing those temps, keeping that car cool so he can stay tucked up right on that back bumper. Every once in a while, you'll see him kind of tucked down to the inside, going on the straightaway, get a little air to the front there, try to keep that thing cooled off nicely.
Right, because one thing you don't want is to overheat, and we've seen it before where cars just stay behind someone for a little bit too long and the car just overheats, so nobody wants that. So they're going to try to keep that machine cool.
Since the digital dashboards came out, that's kind of been something that's plagued me myself a little bit, because I used to rely on the spec gauges that flashed when red when you were starting to overheat. And now with the digital dash, you really don't get that. You can get a little bit of a blink, but it's not as prominent as the gauges were, because the gauges were kind of right in your face.
Right, here's a look at the cockpit of Patrick Groover, and as you can see, you're right, it's a lot different compared to the gauges of old.
You know, I'm sure if you cycle through some of these guys, everybody's running a little different gauges. It looks like Tracy Weaver's going to take over that point right now.
Here we go. Nice taking the lead. Now that's going to put Kevin Freeze as the leader of the high side. He's getting a push from Gabe Butler. If they can get out there.
And Kevin Freeze is going to take the point now. And Gabe got a little loose there when he was coming down, and almost came down into the side of Tracy Weaver. I love that paint job though. Very reminiscent of. As I draw a blank.
I believe it was Tim Richmond that ran the folders.
Thank you. Yes, that's exactly who it was. You know, the name was there and then it disappeared for a second. But yeah, the Tim Richmond Folgers car. That's a cool looking paint job. I love the throwback.
All right, we got so many great paint schemes. My favorite is probably Tim Hamilton's Aveline car.
Especially running the 38 car. A lot of guys don't know he runs that number now specifically because of a good friend of mine who passed away a few years ago, Monty Noyes, and he used to run a 38, so I know Tim runs that number in memory of him. As we got a little 3 wide, a little further in the pack.
Ooh. Yeah, that's around, let's see.
About 15th, 16th spot.
Yeah, here we go. I think it's kind of settled itself out now. Yeah.
Yeah, Paul Sheldon in the 53 was forced to the middle, and there was a little bit of checking up going on there too.
But I mean, if there's one group of drivers that can make it 3 wide and not wreck, it's definitely the Superspeedway Kings. I feel like in other leagues, if it goes 3 wide for even just a little bit, they're gonna be wrecking pretty soon.
And I see LG Waitley in that 99 car. He keeps kind of peeking up to that high side, almost like he's trying to make it 3 wide as they come down the straightaway here.
Right, he's got the 85 of Alcina behind him. Maybe he's going to try to coordinate with him and potentially, like you said, get a third line going. Looks like the high side looks like getting a new member, the 02 of Seth Groover, leaving his brother and going up to help push Gabe Butler. Potentially to the lead as they're getting a great run. Yeah, Gabe Butler takes the lead now. That was a great move by Seth Groover.
Now we already have, about 4 or 5 lead changes, and we're only 12 laps in.
Right, I believe it was Patrick Groover, then Tracy, then Kevin Freeze, and now we got Gabe Butler. So, like you said, 4 lead changes as we're pretty... I mean, we haven't turned many, and we do have some people going onto pit road.
Yep. Looks like Michael Pegg, Frank Grimella, Darren Reiser, Everett Lane, all on pit road.
Like we have some pit strategy right here.
And personally, I think it's a good call to do it now. You're kind of in the middle of the pack. You're not really going to gain any or lose anything, but you got a lot to gain to pit now. As the Groover brothers have hooked back up on the high side, they're trying to make something happen here.
But nobody else. I feel like the magic number, say it every time, if you want to get a good line start.
We got one.
Ooh. Oh. And he gets back onto the track. Oh my. And we're going to stay green, but he went back onto the track and he made some contact
Yellow's
with
out.
others. Oh yeah, there we go. Caution flag is out. We'll get the wreckage replay. See what exactly happened during that incident.
And those guys that just pit, this works out perfect for them. Everett Lane, the 777 there of Michael Pegg, Darren Reiser, the 17 of Frank Grimella. They just got their service done. Yellow comes out. Now they're going to be at the front of the pack when this thing all cycles through.
Let's check out this replay. It all starts with that 38 car just going back onto the track. Went down onto the apron. So that's up front. Heads down there.
Yeah, he made a little bit of contact, forced him down to the apron. I think he was just trying to get back up, and looks like he caught the grass. And once you catch that grass, forget about it. You're done.
And there you go, just slight contact to the rear quarter panel of the 46 of David Overstreet. And he runs through the grass a little bit. But I believe after that he saves it. Yep. And that was the caution right there. So that is the first one of the night. And we have all of the leaders heading on to pit road now. We'll check out who is going to be the winner of the race off of pit road.
Yeah, because that's going to be the race off for 5th place.
Check it out. See, like Kevin Freeze is going to have that. Nope, Tracy Weaver. He started on the pole. He's going to have that top pit stop, and Eric Laurie. But the real leader are the people who stayed out. And you mentioned that before. Everett Lane, Frank Grimuglia, Michael Pegg, all of them went into the pits right before that caution came out. So they're going to benefit from that and get to a lead.
I don't think Eric Laurie stopped. He did not. Eric Laurie drove through pit lane, so I think he missed his pit stall because I'm not seeing a pit stop, a pit time for him.
No,
yeah,
he
was only on pit lane for 15 seconds, so he's gonna have to go back in, and so even though he technically beat Everett off here, he's gonna have to go back in and get his service. Looks like the same thing happened to Paul Sheldon. They might have a little issue between the two of them on pit road.
Yeah, I might have to go back.
Yeah, there was some contact actually between the 52, the 04.
Yeah, we'll rewind and go back to when the 071 of Eric Laurie was on pit road, and if so, what happened?
Actually, Eric just drove right by his pit stall. I just saw it right there.
Oh.
He just completely missed it. But it's the 52 of Sheldon. Had a couple little had a little scrap there on pit lane.
All right, here it is, right here. The replay of incident. Nope, looks like he missed his too.
I'm sorry, it was the 52 of Brett Lay that had
Oh.
issues. There are two different 52s on the track. My mistake.
But it looks like we are going back green here this time by with Everett Lane and Michael Pegg starting on that front row. I believe they are teammates considering they're very close to each other paint schemes. We'll see. They can do. Actually, it looks like Michael Pegg is starting in third. We got Frank Gramuglia is going to be running on that front row.
Not really sure what happened to Everett there. Well, Everett is in the. It's weird the way the scoring's coming out here.
And there we go. Pace car dips off. Finally heading up. And there we go. Green flag is back out here at Daytona International Speedway. And getting a good restart is that 24 of Everett Lane. But also getting a good restart is the 17 of Frank Gramuglia, as he's got that 34 of Darren M. Razor getting up to his back bumper. Let's see if they can get something going. Here goes Michael Pegg to the high side. Good move by him. And looks like if he can get a good run off of the nope, it's not going to be quite able to clear Everett Lane. But if they can continue to get a good draft like that on the straightaways, then I bet in the next couple laps you'll see that 777 of Michael Pegg in the lead.
And even though they're a little bit further back in the pack, the Groover brothers have hooked back up now, and I'm sure we're going to see them getting back to the front in a couple laps.
Right, there we go. On the bottom, if they can try and find a hole, I bet you they're going to go up to the high side. But I think right now they're content with staying on the bottom. Right now, still Michael Pegg trying to get the lead from Everett Lane. Frank Gramuglia is trying to get him a good push, and the person behind Everett Lane is Tim Hamilton in the 38.
Yeah, Tim's a heck of a pusher. I've been pushed around by him many, many times, to a couple wins even. And yeah, he knows how to push a car around here, so expect to see him keep Everett up there for a little while, although that 777 and that 17 have a great run on the outside.
Yep, Michael Pegg taking the lead here at Daytona International Speedway. That's now going to put, I think I was at first, he was thinking about it. As soon as that happened, I'm like, Everett Lane's going to the high side, and if he would have had room, he was gonna, but he did not have enough time, as here comes the 17 of Frank Gramuglia now, getting a good push from Darren M. Razor. Here they come on the high side. Here's just a look at a lot of the front drivers. Looks like if potentially if Kevin Freeze can get far enough away from that 13 of Jimmy Crow Jr. Now the gap is closed up, but if the gap could have gotten a little bit bigger, I think that both Groover brothers could have fit in it.
Yeah, I was expecting to see both of them jump up there, but they decided against it as a couple cars just dropped off to the bottom of the track and are sliding to the back.
Right, you see that sometimes where there's just a lot of shifting around. Things might be getting a little bit dicey in a certain part of the track. Right now, everything up front is going pretty smoothly as the 17 of Frank Gramuglia is trying to get out front.
Now we've separated into two distinct packs now.
There still is a little bit of a gap between Jay Hilliard. Oh, nope, never mind. But on the bottom, looks like it's John Garrett and then just a bunch of blank space behind him. See, it looks like the 15, he's going to move down to the bottom behind John Garrett.
We got the 39 on pit road coming to a real crawl. If he might have had an engine problem or something happened to him, but he's just barely getting on the pit road.
Yep, potentially could have been drafting too hard behind someone, engine blown up. Hopefully he can get everything fixed. Oh, looks like he used one of his faster pairs.
Yep, yeah, I just went back and looked at it. Yep, he definitely popped an engine there. Also, I know the 101 had some connection issues, so he has parked it for the night as well. It's the 101 of Randy Miner.
Yeah, can be a problem, and a lot of times the admin will tell him to drop to the back of the pack, but it can be pretty frustrating on your end. So, disappointed that he had to quit it for the night, but that is okay. We'll see him next week, hopefully.
Yep, and I said 2 cars earlier dropped to the back of the pack. They've lost the draft now. That's the 3 of Craig White and the 95 of James Mayer. They both completely lost the draft now, so they're working with each other. But as the 9, I'm looking a little further back. I don't know if you saw that 9 car with that huge run to the back of the pack with nowhere to go. That's Charles Johnson. He was about 10 miles an hour faster than the back of the pack, and he had to get on the binders quick.
Right, sometimes you get such a good run that you don't expect, and you just run right into the back of the car in front of you. So good thing he was able to save it.
I think you're about to see that again with Eric Laurie here, as he's now getting a great pull from the 74 of Louis Loya. And you can see that high line right now starting to move. That is the 08 of John Stakos. So one of our previous winners, too. He's getting a little bit of a run on that high side.
Right, I believe that was the second or third race he got that win. See if he can get anything done.
Yep.
Look back at the front still. Michael Pegg in the lead. Frank Gramuglia is trying, but that's going to be up to Darren M. Razor if he wants to give him a good push.
Yeah, the 34 just can't stay locked on that back bumper. He gets to the bumper, he starts to push, and then he just kind of falls off, and that's not really helping out Frank at all. You see down the front stretch or down the back stretch here, he's got a real good push, and then when they get to the corner, it's almost like his car starts to stall out a little bit, and he starts to fall back.
Yeah, I've seen that sometimes where people just have trouble drafting the car in front of them. Hopefully he can get it going so he can give a good push to Frank Gramuglia.
And sometimes the way that these cars are set up, depending on how their setups are running, they could be really, really loose when they're up on the back of somebody as well. So they might actually have to physically lift going into the corner to keep themselves from spinning out or the car in front of them from spinning that car out, especially at the front of the pack. You don't want to be the one that turns a car right in front of everybody.
Right, and I think a couple of times there's a certain race where we saw so many people getting loose on, I believe it was the entry of the tri-oval, and it was just non-stop where people just kept spinning out and spinning out. I don't know what it was.
Leaders are catching the 007 here. Going to be putting him lap down in just a moment. I know Talladega has a really bad bump in the tri-oval, and if the weather's not set up perfectly for you and your car's not set up right, it can send you right around. As I just saw the O2 of Seth Groover jump up to the high side for a second. He just pulled back down in front of his brother, so.
Yeah, they're trying to, whoa, the high side is falling way behind. I don't know, man. Darren M. Razor just can't get a good push. There goes the lap car, the 007. He's going to stay on that high side, let everybody go by him. He might fall in line behind somebody.
And it could be that the 34 just has too much tape on, and he just can't push.
Let me look at that front end of the 34. There we go. Well, it's because the 17. There we go. We got a nice view. Looks like he doesn't have any tape on that. Oh no, a little bit on the right side. Oh, going down on the apron, I saw a car in like the corner of my screen. We are nearing halfway through this event.
Yeah, we got some cars coming to pit lane right now. The 04 and the 45 are going to be hitting pit lane this time by.
All right.
Oh, I take that back. 45's way back, so maybe it's not him. But I did hear somebody called out that they were pitting here.
Yeah, if that's the 04, then that's Mark Mann. He didn't go in that time by. We'll see if he goes in next time by. He's got Duke Connor. That's around 21st place. But they're still with the main pack.
Well, the 45 is pitting because he just hit pit road. That's the 45 of Todd Siebels.
Yep, there he is.
And he was running by himself, so he might have been burning up a little bit more gas than everybody else.
So it looks like he's going to go with right sides and then also some left sides.
That's going to put him a lap down, as you can see the field coming by.
Yep, there goes Michael Pegg in that 777, who he ended up leading the most laps last race with 24. He wasn't the winner, but he did lead the most laps. So, known for that is Michael Pegg. We'll see if he can continue to dominate this one. Or can Frank Gramuglia and the 34 of Darren M. Razor finally hook up and get a good run?
It looks like maybe he did have some overheating issues, because now they're right back up to the front challenging for the lead.
Yeah, they've had mood swings on. Sometimes they're like, have the nose over Michael Pegg, looking like they're going to take the lead. Other times they're far, far, far away from the leader. So I don't know. It's hard to tell what's going to be the outcome of that top line.
And right behind them, they've got Gabe Butler and the 25 of Kevin Freese. So they got some stout cars on that high side. Jimmy Crow's up there as well. So, yeah, they got some stout cars on that high side trying to make something happen.
But there is a big gap between the 34 of Darren M. Razor and then the front end of Gabe Butler. Oh, and a car. Oh. Is he dipping on it? Yes. Who's that? Everett Lane? He's fallen behind. But there he is. Everett Lane going down onto pit road.
I don't know if that was planned or not, but that's put the 17 of Frank Gramuglia up to front. And here comes Darren Razor on the outside, coming to take the lead with a big push from Gabe Butler. Big check up on the bottom now. It's now Gabe Butler's got the big push on the outside from Kevin Freese, and those two are look like they're going to go right to the lead.
Yep, they're going to try to get a good enough run to where both Gabe and the 25 can go down to the bottom. And there they go. They head down, and that's now going to put Jimmy Crow as the leader of the high side. Got the 88 of Jake Hilliard behind him.
He just got real loose there, too. You saw him, big wiggle out of him.
Looks like the 13 of Jimmy Crow Jr. might have checked up a little bit when that happened.
That put some separation in the pack, too, because the Groover brothers, who were running, 5th and 6th just a few minutes ago, they've fallen back to a bunch of cars coming to pit road, but they've fallen back into 15th and 16th.
Here we got Frank Gramuglia, Darren M. Razor, and Michael Pegg all onto pit road. Frank Gramuglia has the highest pit stall. But looks like the 34 of Darren and Razor is going to win the race off the pit road. Then we got Gramuglia and then Michael Pegg. And looks like the top line has just become non-existent now as everybody went onto pit road.
Oh, there's two cars up on the high side I see right now, the 01 and the 02. They're trying to make something happen. They're way far back, sitting back in, looks like 12th and 13th.
There we go. Yep, they're trying to make something work up there. And if there's a duo that can do that, it's definitely Patrick and Seth Groover. Got that twin telepathy.
Yeah, and there's a lot of separation now between all the cars up in the top 15, except for those two on the high side who are just locked in.
Saw somebody else dip onto pit road there. That's Harold Decker in the 09.
Also, the 52 and the 007 hit pit road as well.
Oh, looks like jumping to a humongous lead over the rest of the field. That's Gabe Butler and Kevin Freese just on a Sunday drive.
15 of Noel Knowers is going to be coming in this time. Just came across the radio. Same thing with the 33.
Yep, there goes Noel Coers. Then you're right, Michael Howlett, then Thomas Holder, and Brian Pierce all are on pit road. Here goes Noel Coers. Let's see what he's going to do. Like, that's fuel only for him. Interesting choice by Noel Coers.
Which makes it a little tougher coming off of pit road because you have so much heat in the tires. Sometimes you have a tendency to spin it. Because here comes the 08, 83, the Jimmy Crow.
No, they're leaders.
Bunch of cars on the pit road, yeah.
Yep, there goes Gabe Butler.
Couple cars locking tires up, able to hold on to it. That could have been disastrous for those guys.
I saw that.
Tim Hamilton out there. And that's going to give the lead to the Groover twins.
All right. Yeah, they've jumped out to a big lead. They have Duke Conrad a little bit of ways behind them.
They're going to be coming up on a gaggle of cars here in a moment who just came off of pit lane, who aren't quite up to speed just yet as they come on the pit lane this time.
There they go.
Big lockup from the 01. Patrick, he looks like he's able to get woed down in time.
Also, Seth Groover, Dude Conrad. All onto pit road. So will they be able to make it off the pit road in front? Or will we see somebody else take the lead?
Looks like the pack is just coming through turn 4 right now. And
If
they're
they can,
just entering the tri-oval.
they can get up to speed just in time, I think they might be able to do it.
Fortunately for them, they've got enough cars here with them to keep that speed. Once they get up on the backstretch here, they'll be able to do a little bit of drafting and get their speed up a little quicker, as the leaders are now just coming through turns, coming off of turn 2. So
The about to 173 miles per hour, Patrick Groover. He's finally got his brother Seth up to him. And there we go. That could be the winning move right there from Patrick and Seth Groover. Went down onto pit road, ended up beating the leaders off. They've got a big gap over John Garrett in third.
the only problem I see for those guys, though, is it's just the two of them right now. And you can see that 25 at Kevin Freeze on the outside. He's doing about 5 to 6 miles an hour faster than the leaders are going right now, the Groover twins. So by that means, they should actually catch them, I would say, within the next 2 or 3 laps. I think they'll be right up there.
Interesting. Yeah, if you look at the speeds, about 200, right? Or that could be just because one's in the turn, one's on the straightaway. But right now, about 203, while the other's going 199. So you're right, a speed difference. And here they come on the bottom. I believe they're going to get it this lap, take the lead.
Yeah, I didn't think that was gonna. I didn't think they were gonna be able to stay out there much longer, just the two of them, because the rest of the field was coming, and you can see that.
Yep, here
But
they
do have
come.
some. They do have some help there on the high side right now.
Yep, that is, I believe, the. Is that the 08 of John? Yeah, that is the 08 of John Stathakos. And then also the 91 of Ernie Williams Jr. up there. Here we go. Finally clearing them is Kevin Freeze.
Kevin Freeze has a really good pusher on his back bumper right now.
That's Gabe Butler. Awesome pusher. Let's see how well they can work together.
Oh, middle of the pack there, that 91 of Ernie Williams just got real loose in the corner. He was able to hold on to it, but man, that car just looked evil for a second going through the corner there.
Yes, that is super speedway. That can be very, very scary when the car comes out from under you. Don't look now. We have another pack of cars starting to catch the field, led by Frank Gramuglia. See if they can catch Everett Lane.
You know, if they could just stay single file, they'd be able to catch them within a couple laps, just like you saw the 25 catch Seth Groover and the Groover twins and just go flying by them.
While we do have a break in the action, we do have a few comments and shoutouts on YouTube. Got Mara Clark says, "Hi all, let's go 04 in Alliance Motorsports." That's the 04 of Mark Mann. He's currently in 29th, now 36th in a group of cars. Let's see if he can catch back up to the rest of the field. You people blinking.
Here comes that high line. Here comes Patrick Groover back on the outside. Big push from Seth. But it looks like that bottom line is going to prevail through the corner here. those two positions been yo-yoing back and forth for the last couple laps.
Yeah, I think we can, if the 01 of, no, the 02 of Seth Groover, if he can get a good push on his brother and all the other people behind them can contribute and work together, then I think that they'll get into the lead. It's going to be on the straightaway where they're going to get that run. High side, as always, gets the best run on the straightaway. So far, since that previous caution, it's been a pretty clean race, except for maybe people locking up as we entered on the pit road. I don't know.
It's like we've had a second group of cars that have just completely lost the draft and separated from the pack. That's being led right now by the 99 LG Wheatley. And that group right there is just, they're just falling backwards. They're having some issues there.
Yeah, not even in sight. If you look from the view of David Adamson, very far behind from his view. They really need green flag pit stops, to be in their favor, or a caution if they want to catch back up.
And then about a half a lap behind everybody else, there's another group of cars, the 44 of Bobby Johnson, the 95 of Mike Mayer, Mark Mann, Craig White, Michael Lovelace, who are just in a different zip code compared to the leaders. They're just hitting the start finish line now. So that really shows a big difference in where the rest of the field is at the moment. Because the leaders are coming through turn 4 right now.
And in that group of cars, there is a lot of blinking with them. So I don't know, that could be the reason why they are far away from the rest of them.
So both those groups right now are hoping for a yellow to come out so they can catch back up. But you know who doesn't want a yellow? Is that 25 of Kevin Freese.
Right, he's had that Chevrolet Camaro Z01 on a rail, getting a good push from Gabe Butler. And let's see if this continues, or can Patrick and Seth Groover get a good run?
And you can see this part of the run. These guys have about 10 laps, 11 laps on the tires. The cars are now starting to move around quite a bit as the track temperature looks like it's starting to come up just a little bit.
And as you say that, I kind of want to look at the stints so far. So Freese and Butler have been on a 36 lap stint, looks like, since they last pit. Groover, and Garrett and a few others have a 10 lap stint. Not sure if that's entirely accurate. But I do believe they can go in one more time, and then they'll make it for the rest of the race.
Yeah, because we just hit 25 laps to go. And these guys are pushing hard and keeping those cars wound up, using a lot of fuel. And I imagine, you're right, they're going to have to come in, at least take fuel, a little splash and go to make it to the end.
It was 2 or 3 races ago where we had a fuel mileage finish where I believe we had like a green-white checkered, and these drivers underestimated how much fuel it was going to take, and the leader ended up running out of fuel in the tri-oval, and that ended up costing him the race.
Yeah, that's disheartening when something like that happens right there at the end.
Right, it can definitely hurt when something like that happens. Hopefully, though, they'll be able to really make it to the end when they go in.
Don't look now, but that 99, that group led by the 99 of LG Whately has now caught the pack. And last time by, he was the fastest car on track, almost a second faster than the rest of the field. So that they're starting to pull right back up to the lead pack here. As you see him making that big move to the outside, that big draft off the full field.
Yep, there they go, up to the high side. That's amazing. And this time by also, him, Alcina, and Tim Hamilton are the fastest cars on the track. So we'll keep track on their journey, but we got a lot of shifting around on that high side. People going up to the high side and people leaving it.
It's like people are starting to file down to the bottom here. I don't know if we're getting ready to see some more pit stops in a moment or not, but yeah, they go.
The leaders, Kevin Freeze, Gabe Butler, all head down onto pit road. Tracy Weaver.
Anytime you see the field starting to file down to that bottom line, you can almost guarantee that people are getting ready to come and make their final pit stops.
See who's going to win the race off of pit road. Getting some left sides. And there we go. Looks like Kevin Freeze is going to win the race. No, Gabe Butler is going to win the race off of pit road. The leaders are Patrick and Seth Groover. Got some more people behind them going down onto pit road. Got Everett Lane, Louis Loya, Michael Pegg, Darren M. Razor, Frank Gramuglia, all on pit road.
And I'm not sure that Everett got down to pit road speed there. He looked like he was a little fast coming in. We'll have to keep an eye here to see if he's penalized or not.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That can be a terrible thing, especially with how much races left. Only 21 laps. That'd be terrible.
Yep, but he is rolling, so no penalty. He's able to get it woed down in time. As here comes the next round. Nope, just one car coming onto pit road this time.
Yep, there's Todd Siebels. As we're awaiting, I think the 01 and the 02 and the rest of those, they're just going to try to squeeze as much fuel out as they possibly can.
Yeah, because you figure a lap here, if I remember correctly, is just under a half a gallon per lap. So if you can stretch it just a little bit further and run 2 or 3 more laps, that's another gallon or 2 you don't have to put in the car, which is a shorter pit stop.
That is true. And there goes John Garrett, LG Whaley, and Al Cena onto pit road. We're losing people left and right. We got another pack a little ways led by Mark Mann. Trying to find it. There we go. Wait, no, that might. There it is. It's led by James Mayer. They're trying to get up, catch back up to Eric Laurie and them. There goes somebody else onto pit road. Noel Coers, Thomas Holder. You see, I believe that is David Overstreet in that 46 is actually the leader of that pack, trying to catch up to Jay Hilliard, who is at the end of the line in that front little pack.
It sounds like the 33's coming in the pit this time.
Yeah, that's Michael Howlett. There goes Rick Seabrands. He won last race and is the points leader. And he also has finished in the top 5 in every single one of these races.
Looks like Ernie Williams Jr. went in with him as well. And Yeah, I'm surprised these guys are stretching it out as long as they are right now. Because as they're running just two cars like this, they are incredibly slower than, say, the pack would be. So I'm sure these guys are probably going to come in this time and not give up any more time on the track.
Yep, this time by, I feel like. Or next time. Patrick, Seth,
We got
Stathakos.
yellow is out.
Oh!
Wreck right in front of the leaders here.
We got the wreckage replay.
That would have been the, let's see here. The 66 of John Garrett was involved.
Right, we will.
Oh.
Whew. Okay. There is the wreckage replay.
Yeah, the 41 is actually the one we want to focus on here.
Alright. So, right, watch the 41. He's in front of John Garrett. Moves down to the bottom, got very, very loose, hits the apron. That flings him back up the track into John Garrett. Then both of them head into the wall. Charles M. Johnson, Noel Coers, I believe, are able to avoid it. Running right into the back of John Garrett is Jimmy Crow Jr., who is able to avoid getting hit for a second time.
And he's batting a 66 there on the grass. And as we mentioned before, once you hit that grass, you kind of lose all control. And he catches the 41 in the back again, shoots him back across the track in the traffic.
Ooh, there we go. Harold Decker gets decked by the 66 of John Garrett, runs right into his side. That is pretty much the wreck.
And it looks like that's going to take a couple cars out. It looks like John Garrett has retired from that incident.
It looks like when the caution flag came out, Rick Seabrands is the leader. And somehow, every single time, he's able to be up front in the end. And here he is in that 4 Yeti Coolers machine.
You know that really hurt, though, is the Groover twins.
Yes.
By staying out as long as they did, it put them at a major disadvantage. It looks like, oh, not really. It looks like Seth's going to restart in 5th. Patrick's going to restart in 22nd.
Ooh, so the Groover brothers have been separated from each other.
And a little separation of strategy here. Seth's pit stop was only 8 seconds, where Patrick's was 25. So I wonder if Patrick actually had some damage that he had to fix, or what happened there. He might have been caught speeding too. I'll have to go back and see what happened there.
Right, penalty, especially speeding penalty, could be the case. We got a whole line of lap cars in front of them. Whoa, looks like Mark Mann just crashed. I don't know what happened to him.
So apparently, from what Patrick just said on the chat here, he had a pit glitch, and as I'm looking at the replay, he was just stuck in his pit stall with the tire spinning. He couldn't move.
Ooh. I mean, that's the flaw of online racing right there. Glitches. It's a shame that could be the reason why he doesn't win tonight's event. He's in 21st. That's doable. He can make his way up to the field if there's some things that go his way. And looks like the lights on the pace car have gone off, so we are going to be going green this time by with Rick Seabrands and Ernie Williams Jr. on that front row.
Personally, when I see a glitch like that, yeah, it sucks that it's a glitch, but it's just like something happening in real life, a car falling off the jack or a gun breaking or something like that. So you
Right.
kind of got to chalk it up to, this stuff happens in real life too. So they're just not glitches. Usually they're technical issues,
Right. Not
mechanical issues.
like not putting the lug nuts on the wheel, that kind of stuff. Or the right wheel putting. But here we go. Green flag is back out here. We're going to have 13 laps to go when they cross the line. See what Ernie Williams Jr. can do on that high side. Gets a good restart. He's got the, believe that is Michael Howlett is going to hook up behind him. Have a big gap between Michael Howlett and then that's Tim Hamilton. The laps are winding down. Let's see what this high side can do. Because now, I believe the entire field is going to be able to make it on pit road. Now's the time to start getting a little bit more aggressive, not giving quite as much.
Speaking of aggressive, the 01 to the third lane, all by himself, trying to make something happen out there.
Yeah, he's trying to get back up to his brother, Seth, who's in fourth.
He's making it work a little bit out there on that high side.
He is. Looks like who went up there with him?
Nobody's got up to him just yet, but he's using the side draft, and now he's going to tuck in behind as that bottom lane opens up as LG goes bottom, but now it looks like they're going to be 3 wide again.
Yep. And there comes some reinforcements behind him. Tracy Weaver on that high side. It's very hard to do it at Daytona, considering how skinny the track is. It's doable.
The wall creeps up on you when you're outside here at Daytona a little bit faster than it does at Talladega. I mean, Talladega, you can run 4 wide, really 5 wide if you got a skilled group of drivers.
But you're also closer to the wall. And I forget, with the release of Season 1 of 2021, what was that new wall update that they did?
So the new wall update is basically, it mimics the arrow, or I should say it models the air coming off the car and pushing against the wall. So at its super speedway, it doesn't really affect the car. It just kind of keeps the car off the wall. At a track like, say, Homestead, Miami or Charlotte, where you can run right against the wall and get some more side bite. But here, it's not going to really affect you in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, that 01's already up to 12th after restarting 23rd. So he's trying to make some moves here. Now he's going to the middle.
Back up front, Ernie Williams almost had the 4 of Rick Seabrands clear, but he couldn't quite make it and didn't want to risk it. He goes back up. Oh, and we have contact! Yeah, I saw that. Caution flag is out.
Oh, the 25's involved.
Oh.
The 41's involved.
We lost some good people there. Let's take a look at this wreckage replay.
That started with the 83 and the 88 there.
Ew.
Actually, I believe that's the 20 on your ticker, the 88 on the screen. James Hillard.
All right, let's check this thing out. So it looks like he was in a little bit of a race car sandwich. Makes contact with the 34 of Darren M. Razor above him, and that forces him down into Jay Hilliard, and that's how this... Yeah, this is going to be the big one, I believe. Look at that. All the people getting involved. Dude Conrad, Thomas Holder, Austin Craig.
Yeah, a lot of the drivers that we saw up at the front today. Frank Grumelia, Eric Laurie, Jay Hillard, Michael Pegg. I mean, these are all cars who were up at the front most of the race and caught up in this one. Looks like Everett Lane's caught up in this one as well.
So when the caution flag came out, Rick Seabrands was the leader. We got a bunch of people heading on to pit road. A lot of them most likely got damage from that incident. John Stathcoach, Charles M. Johnson, Mark Billen. Jimmy
All right,
Crow,
Atlee. You know who this really benefited the most?
Groovers.
Look where they're going to be restarting. Fourth
See.
and 6 on the outside.
No way. That's perfect. I knew they could do it.
So, I mean, that's for those guys. There's no better place that I think they'd rather be than 4th and 6th, because you know that they're not going to push David Overstreet. They're just going to try to get to the outside and get right around those front the front car and get to the front themselves.
Oh, no doubt. I know they're going to try to do that.
Laps are winding down. We're going to restart with about 5 laps to go. So it's go time. I mean, it's, as Joe Wright would say, it's go time. Let's do it now.
Right, we're going to be seeing a lot more taking than giving. More aggressive moves being made. I'm excited to see what these Super Speedway Kings can do.
The only difference between what's going to happen here and Joe Wright's go time is, you know, there's still more than 30 laps to go, or less than 30 laps to go. Joe has a tendency to be a little aggressive when it comes to lap count. Love you, Joe, and I can't wait to see you back on track. It's nice to be back in the booth with him as well on Sunday nights, and I've missed calling races with you guys for sure.
Yeah, it's great to have you back. You're going to take a look at a little flyby of the field, see where your favorite driver is. So far, I believe the only shout-out we've had for Mark Mann on YouTube, and he, look through the field, is in 29th. There's a chance that he can get up front, but I'm not sure if he's got the power to do it. Love the 9 car of Charles M. Johnson with like the blue chrome Napa car. That's nice. We're going to be going green this time by. Got Rick Seabrands and David Overstreet on that front row. A little bit confusing. David Overstreet is the 03 on your ticker, but he's the 46 on the track, so keep that in mind. We're waiting for that pace car to mosey on down.
So correct me if I'm wrong, these guys are going to be taking a little 2-week hiatus after this race?
I'm not sure. The schedule that I have, the only 2-week break that they took was the break, the 2 weeks of the holiday season.
So I might have misheard that. I apologize. Giving false information. Green flag back in the air. Great jump from Rick Seabrands, though. Getting out to a great lead here. But look who's already moved up to that high side.
Yep, the 01 of Patrick Groover is trying to know he's going to stay behind David Overstreet, the high side, falling behind. And the 01 and I believe the 02 are both going to go up and say, hey, if we can't get this line going with David Overstreet, let's see what we can do. Dude Conrad moves up. I feel like with 5 to go, we might see some 3 wide action.
We're coming to 5 to go, and we've got 3 wide action as the Groover twins move up to the high side, taking that 3rd lane. And it looks like Gabe Butler's gone along with them as well. Another guy who likes that high side.
Anybody else? Oh no, the 02.
Catches the wall just a little bit. Doesn't look like it hurt him too much. Is Gabe going to stay with him, or is he going to try to move to that bottoms line? Looks like he's going to move down. Here comes the 0-1 falling back to his brother. See if they can get another run going here.
There's the 08, like you said, Stathakos, Dude Conrad, all of them. Got to be 4 to go now. It's time to start making. Craig White goes to the high side. Who else wants to run the high side?
It looks like Patrick's still trying to make that third lane work. Just doesn't look like he has anybody to go with him. Now his brother's back to his back bumper. Here comes a 95 to join the fun with James Mayer up on that third lane.
There goes Michael Howlett in the 33 to the second line. Guess we're going to have to start referring to it like that now. And
yeah, the 95 just dumped the 0-2 of Seth Groover. So that third lane now has no help, no momentum. Although Patrick's not giving up on it. He keeps trying to island hop, as I like to call it, getting a little pull from the car in front of him and then jumping to the high side, trying to get a run going all by himself. But here comes a little challenge on the outside.
the 33 of Michael Howlett. Can he get it done? Nope, but if they can continue to get a good run, I'd say next couple, there's only, after this, 2 laps left, but I think they're going to try to, if they can get a good run this time by, I think, take the lead.
Yeah. Craig White is giving him a huge push on that high side, trying to get him by Rick here, as the popsicle sticks are in the air. And Seth Groover still on that high side, working it by himself, working the side draft, hoping somebody would go with him, but it doesn't look like anybody's going to go with him here. And he's just kind of stalled out there by himself.
Here we go. I called it. 33 of Michael Howlett is going to go down and clear Rick Seabrands and takes the lead, as we're now going to have 1 lap to go. Rick Seabrands thought about going high, stays low, then goes high again. Whew. There goes.
They were just 3 wide for a second, and they're still 3 wide. Coming into turn 1. Craig White, well, they're stuck on the high side in the 3rd lane.
Oh, and they're wrecking.
Behind. Seth Groover.
Woo! Oh,
Big
and then they go into the wall. There we go. 91 moves to the high side. That's Ernie Williams Jr. It's going to happen here in turns 3 and 4.
Oh, and more contact. The 01 and the 08 get together.
Oh, and then Rick Seabrands and then Tim Hamilton. Looks like we have our top 3 all in this little section right here. And Ernie Williams. Oh, nope. Michael Howlett is going to take the win.
Michael Howlett at the line by a nose gets the win. And there it is. Just that little bit is enough.
What was the finish? It was 100th. I don't know how many thousands.
It was 0.015.
Wow.
And then to 3rd place, it was 0.099. So the top 3 there separated by less than a 1/10 of a second.
Close racing right there. Congratulations to Michael Howlett. We'll get him in the booth in just a second. But first, let's just take a quick look at the finishing results. We're still...
Looks like there's still a couple cars trying to cross the line here.
There we go. You got Michael Howlett is your winner in that number 1 machine. Ernie Williams Jr. is going to take 2nd place. Then 3rd place is Dean Wilkinson. In 4th place, even though he got in an accident, Patrick Gruber finishes 4th. We have Frank Gramuglia rounding out your top 5. John Stathakos in 6th. Rick Seabrands ends his streak of getting all top 5s, but he still continues to get top 10 in every race. Tim Hamilton finishes 8th. Larry Boyle 9th. And then rounding out your top 10 is Mark Billen. Then we got 11th is Michael Pegg in that 777. 12th, James Mayer. 13th, Jay Hilliard. 14th, Thomas Holder. And rounding out your top 15, Gabe Butler. Then we got 16th is Eric Laurie. 17th, Charles M. Johnson. Louis Loya, 18th. Then we got 19th, Dude Conrad. And then rounding out your top 20 is David Adamson. 21st is Mark Mann. Then starting 22nd is Everett Lane. 23rd is Bobby Johnson. 24th, Craig White. And then rounding out your top 5 is David Overstreet. Then 26th is Seth Groover. 27th, Jimmy Crow Jr. 28th, Brent Lee. 29th, Michael Lovelace. Then we have 30th, Darren M. Razor. 31st, Brian Pierce. Then Tracy Weaver ended up finishing 32nd. Alcina, 33rd. Kevin Freeze, 34th. 35th is L.G. Whaley. Finishing 36th was Noel Coers. 37th was Harold Decker. 38th, John Garrett. 39th, Todd Siebels. And then rounding out your top 40 is Paul Sheldon. And then Randy Miner, Don Thompson, and Donald Kendrick. So we are going to be doing the Intensity promo video as we wait for everyone to go into the booth. Right, looks like we could only get second place finisher Ernie Williams Jr., but he had a pretty good view of that entire finish, so let's hear what he has to say.
Ernie, you got Josh Natley in the booth. You got us?
Gotcha.
Man, that was a heck of a finish coming down to the line there. We thought you were going to get Michael there at the end, but he just snuck in at the last second and took that from you. But great race overall. How'd you see it from your side?
Yeah, it was a good race for me overall. I ran pretty much the first half of it. I ran towards the back. Then the second half of the race, I tried to work my way up, got up through there. A couple pit stops got us separated from the pack and everything, which we could it seemed like we'd at least be able to maintain speed with the pack or even be a little faster sometimes. So all in all, it played out about like I figured it would. I got onto the backstretch there and I got to the high side with Rick behind me, and I figured that I would be able to win from there. And they got tangled up. Some guys got tangled up behind me, and allowed me and Michael there towards the end, and we was coming through the line, and we had a little net code. He tried, I'd do the same thing. He tries to come up there and tries to take the draft off of me, and we net coded, and for some odd long reason, I got the short end of the stick. So, but all in all, we'll take the second place.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know for some of these guys, the yellow flags just weren't coming out at the right time for them. Seemed like the yellow flags really didn't either hurt nor help you in any way.
Well, the one there did it. Put me and Rick 1-2. We pitted there, and when we come out,
That's right.
we threw that one caution, and that put us up to the front right there. And then from there, it was pretty much, that last 12 laps or so was just pretty much trying to hold my harder lines. And then we had another one right there, and I ended up starting third, so I was behind Rick there. And We
Right.
we kind of pulled away a little bit, and I could jump, like I said, jump out to the outside. I hate running the bottom line. You just get trapped down there. I'd much rather either be to the next line or the third line, and so I try to position myself, which I did coming out too, right there on the final lap. And all in all, I'd love to see it go to the end there without the caution. But man, coming in super speedway races, that's expected most of the time. You know, you got guys racing hard, and you're 2 inches from each other, so stuff's going to happen. And congratulations to Mike on his win, and Dean for third place.
Yeah, it was a great run there overall. Anybody you'd like to thank tonight?
Yeah, FSR guys back at the shop there, they helped me out a lot. Give me a good setup tonight. Jimmy Crow for putting on the league, man. He does an awesome job. I've known the man for 3 years, and he's a good-hearted man, and I love racing in his leagues, man. He's got some of the best guys that come out here week in, week out, and it's always fun. He always has a well-respected room and guys in here, man. You can't complain. And give a shout out to his family out there. I know they're having a little bit of trouble, and hopefully everything comes out all right out there on them. And just let everybody know we love them out there.
Awesome, man. Yeah, yeah. As I always say in the broadcast, I've run with half this league throughout my career at iRacing, and
Right.
if I wasn't up here in the booth, I'd probably be racing with you guys
It,
myself.
exactly. And you know it'd be fun too, because if you know them guys, we like to have fun first and foremost.
Absolutely. Well, Ernie, again, congratulations on your second place finish, and great points night for you. And hopefully, we'll talk to you again real soon.
Absolutely. Thanks, man.
That's going to be it from the interview standpoint. Any final thoughts on the race, Josh?
Man, that was a great race. To come back into the booth and see a race like that is just incredible. A lot of excitement, a lot of lead changing, some three wide there at the end, and yeah, I'm looking forward to the next race with these guys.
Right, it's always exciting with the Super Speedway Kings. So that's gonna be it. So thank you everyone for watching this Super Speedway Kings Super Speedway series presented by Over the Top Designs. Make sure to look them up on Facebook. And speaking of Facebook, make sure to like, follow, and subscribe to Intensity Broadcasting on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, as we are trying to get 1,000 by, I don't know, what's the decided date? April 22nd. We're also thinking Eddie
Yeah,
Morris's birthday.
Yep, yep. And also, speaking of super speedway racing, if you guys like super speedway racing, stick around. We got a doubleheader tonight. We have the iOS series starting their season tonight at Daytona International Speedway. Yours truly will be announcing that one tonight with Matt Knight. So, looking forward to some more super speedway racing tonight.
So stay tuned for that. Hopefully we'll see you there. I'm Atlee Atman Weiss. Thank you for watching. Over and out.